I've waited a while to talk about this, I get that. As of now, nothing is confirmed, and this is just a rumor, so this could be nothing at the end of the day. We'll have to wait when Phil Spencer comes out and announces Xbox's plans for the future, and if the rumors of the big Xbox exclusives coming to PlayStation are true or not. That being said, with the topic at hand of Xbox, PlayStation's biggest competitor, going out like how SEGA did back during 2001 and leaving the console market to strictly make video games is honestly very worrisome to me. And as time keeps going, the possibility of it happening has continued increasing by the year. Every year, in fact, since 2018, the leadership at Xbox has been purchasing studios and buying up publishers in order to compete with Sony, and every year it seems like they have been coming up short in favorability amongst fans and critics alike. With Sony exclusive games getting nominated and even winning Game of the Year awards, meanwhile Xbox has been having a difficult time to get games released on time. Now I won't lie, I for all my life have been a PlayStation player myself. I've had an Xbox 360 and love playing on it, but I've owned every PlayStation console and a vast majority of my games have been through PlayStation. But I cannot deny Microsoft's impact on gaming as a whole and their necessity on the industry. My biggest fear for the longest time was that Microsoft would just disband the Xbox brand and focus on what their bread and butter is. Since they're a $1 trillion company, it won't affect them that much to just cut out their gaming division, as it is really just a smart part of them as a company in comparison to Sony, whose PlayStation division is their biggest moneymaker. However, this idea of Xbox just focusing on games and giving their exclusives to Sony is just as worrisome, since I believe Sony and PlayStation needs the competition to stay afloat. Hell, gaming in general needs their market to be competitive, as that's how we get games like The Last of Us, Elden Ring, Halo, Mario Bros, Sonic, and so on. Without Xbox, Sony has no incentive to keep delivering, since there won't be another alternative to the PlayStation. Nintendo was always geared towards their own franchises and has a completely different demographic than PlayStation, to be a direct competitor and vice versa. And without the incentive to produce games of great quality that naturally comes from Microsoft being there to compete against PlayStation, Sony can honestly just do whatever they want, and for us as the consumers won't have an alternative. Hell, we've already witnessed firsthand this arrogance from Sony time and time and again. Remember the PlayStation 3 reveal and how they were charging $600 because of the success with the PS2? They didn't think people cared enough about Xbox to consider them relevant, and that bit them in the ass big time. The same thing happened to Microsoft back in 2013 with the Xbox One reveal, and it was literally because of that reveal that set their slow and steady downfall that they've had up until now. This, at the worst case scenario, can seriously damage gaming as a whole. If this happens, we won't see the effects of it until years down the line. All of Sony's studios are working on their next projects currently, so those games won't be affected, but you can bet your ass that down the line, if Sony becomes arrogant like they did in 2006, you can see the prices for these games go up further and further while the quality goes down significantly. Because if you're a gamer and want to play the next AAA blockbuster, where else would you get them on console? Keep in mind, not everyone will want to buy a PC. And even though it's clearly the best way to play games, not everyone will want the commitment to build or even buy a pre-built when they can just buy the cheaper console alternative. Maybe we'll get another competitor like Amazon or Google to get into the console market again. And even though the Stadia became a failure, that doesn't mean they can't try again. Or maybe Apple may want to get into the business. The possibility is there. If Xbox can potentially leave the console market, then it would have been made a lot easier for another giant to compete and give Sony that much needed wake-up call that, let's be honest, that they're going to need if there's no one to keep them in check. In my opinion, Xbox just needs new leadership. The guys over there heading the Xbox division haven't been doing the best jobs to produce the best games, and every year the sales figures have suggested that people are losing interest in the brand, as they haven't had the best games to make an impact in the industry. Starfield is the only game since maybe Halo Infinite to make waves, and even then they failed to create longevity with Starfield. How long since Hellblade's 2 reveal have we needed to wait to finally play that game for? 5 years? They revealed it in 2019, early 2019 to be more specific, and just this year in 2024 we finally get our hands on it. And if Hellblade turns out to be shit, then that's just another game we have to wait a long time for just to be disappointed. I think there needs to be a new set of leadership running the division with fresh new ideas that are ambitious enough to produce games that can compete with the God of Wars and the Uncharted. Stop buying publishers and thinking that's the only way to compete against Sony. Xbox Studios has more than enough to compete. In fact, acquiring more studios is just more money being taken away from studios that actually need to produce better quality content. Like I said, this is all just a rumor, but I believe that this discussion is something that we were going to have to talk about anyways, as the potential of this happening is becoming more and more apparent, and the ramifications of what it can have is large. I owned an Xbox and I've enjoyed my time playing on it, and games like Halo and Gears of War have been a part of my childhood, so I do want Xbox to go back to the way it was during the 360 days and give PlayStation a run for their money. Or we can just be excited for the next Last of Us when they eventually make us pay $100 for them. In all seriousness, Microsoft needs to get their act together. I need gaming to continue doing good so I can just play more games. Also, we need to go back to games releasing at a more faster pace. I'm sorry, I cannot be waiting 8 years to play a video game for it to just disappoint me. But that's just another video for another day. If you like this video, however, please hit the like button and subscribe while you're at it. It means a lot. Also, please let me know what you guys think about the Xbox situation and the state of gaming as a whole. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.